Welcome to Sharia Cast, brought to you by Net Sharia International. Today we dive deep into the world of cybersecurity and how you as an individual or a business can be able to protect yourself and your business as an asset against cybersecurity threats. So today we're discussing on how to unlock solutions towards cybersecurity, how to ensure risks are mitigated, what are some of these types of risks associated when it comes to cybersecurity, and essentially how to go about when you've been exposed to these particular risks. I'm your host, Simon, and today I'm joined by a very special guest who is an expert in the cybersecurity space. He'll introduce himself. Karibu sana.
Thank you, Simon. I'm Michael Omuga. I'm the manager, cybersecurity and digital forensics at Risk House International.
Karibu sana, Mike.
Thank you.
Maybe to start us off in terms of what really is cybersecurity, how would you put it that to that particular layperson, to that individual business owner, or just about anybody using a digital device? What is cybersecurity essentially?
Oh, thank you. Cybersecurity is just a practice. It is a practice which is used to protect the networks, the systems. We have also the mobile phones.
Okay.
We have also the social media devices, and it protects them from malicious attack.
Okay.
Yeah, when I'm talking about the malicious attack, we are talking about the people who have the knowledge and they use it illegally to harm the social media users. So it is also very, very important. So cybersecurity is just about a practice of protecting the malicious attack on the internet and also in the networks.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So essentially, now that you've understood what really is cybersecurity, so why is it important that you as an individual or a business should protect yourself or your business assets?
Yeah, it is very, very important because prevention is cure. Yeah. It is always very, very important to prevent what does not happen and don't wait. So when we're talking about now the importance, it is always very important because you have to understand your security posture, you have to understand your environment, and also you must also make sure that you understand it based on your business model. And that is why in cybersecurity, as I've mentioned, there are many, many applications and systems in cybersecurity, so it depends. It's always very, very important because first, it helps protect your network, it protects your data because information is power.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's very insightful. So what really are these types of cybersecurity threats? How do they manifest themselves? How do you, as a user of a certain device, a certain system, your computer at home, how do you be able to tell this is a cybersecurity threat? What are some of the types and how do they manifest themselves?
Thank you, Ruto. Let me just go and highlight some of the most cybersecurity threats.
Okay.
There are very many, but I'm going to at least explain some of the common in terms of our digital environment.
Yeah.
One, I can say, is one is the phishing. Phishing in the sense that someone can just send you an email, an illegitimate email claiming to be legit. If you don't have an awareness and also you don't have the knowledge of identify, then you will trap yourself and you will be a victim.
Okay.
That is one. Two, we have the ransomware. Ransomware, it is very, very common. I remember in our nation, sometimes back there was a problem with our website.
Yeah,
And what happened is that, first of all, that method was the method which the attackers used was distributed denial of service attack, where they made sure that they sent the transmission in the inbound, they sent the inbound transmission, so the systems was not able to identify the genuine transmission and also the legit and the illegit. Why? If the system can receive everything, but now how it works, it it makes the systems to accept everything. And that is where now there's always a gap where the system can even accept some illegitimate and strange malware and also Trojan, which can even cause harm to the systems.
Okay.
Yeah. Another one is also a man in the middle. Someone can trap your transmission, then it can try to listen to what you are talking about, then find a way of how he or she can attack back.
Okay.
Another one, as I have said, we have also the inside the inside threats,
Okay.
where it is most common in working institutions. It happens because one, I may say that it is a lack of awareness, training, and readiness. Let's assume maybe one of your employees who is working in a certain department receive a call or receive an email, and this email claims to come from one of the departments, for example, the finance manager, the CEO. Then he or she will just respond to that email, not knowing that this person is just trapping them up. So those are some of the things which are their role is very, very common, and it is good to highlight so that people will also be able to understand some of these things. Yeah.
Thanks for that. Very insightful.
Yeah.
At least it gives our audience the understanding of some of these types of cyber security threats, and also in line with how you get attacked, because essentially it's an attack in itself.
Yes.
So now that we have this understanding, what are some of the ways or methods or even strategies that you as an individual, in terms of you using your particular device, or you're an entrepreneur, you're trying to protect your systems.
Yes.
What are some of these strategies that they might use?
Okay. Before I respond to that, let me mention something.
Sure.
In a cyber security world or information security environment, we have three things which we must mention when we are discussing the information security or cyber security.
Sure.
We have the confidentiality, we have the integrity, and we have the availability.
Okay.
These are some of the three principles or three components of information security or cyber security. And again, we have also another three factors which complement the components.
Okay.
One of them is the people, we have the process, and we have the technology. Why have I brought that? Why have I mentioned that? Because we are talking about the users. Who are the users? They are the people.
Sure.
Yes.
Indeed, yes.
Yes. And now, by responding to what you've mentioned, one of the core measures and the strategies which institutions should embrace is training and education.
Sure.
We can as well say that training, readiness, and awareness. It is always very, very important, because it will make your users to be aware of some of these threats and also these methodologies the cyber criminals can use to lure them to share information.
Okay.
The second one, we are talking about now the systems and the network. You should have a robust policies in the systems, so that it can also guide the users and also the stakeholders on how they should function and also how they can operate.
Okay.
Yeah. For example, if maybe you have the segregation of duties, okay, how does it help the companies? Why is it important in the systems? It is important because it brings accountability and transparency in terms of the login, and also in terms of some of the accessing some of this information in the network.
Yeah.
Another one we can talk about now, the systems update. Remember, everything on earth needs an update.
Sure.
When we're talking about the systems, it needs updates, because if it is not updated, then it will be behind. So there are some of the things which it cannot run, it cannot pick in real time.
True.
But if it is up to date, it stands security defense.
Yes.
Yeah, so it is always very, very important to make sure that you update your systems. Another one, you can also patch and do the hardening of your systems, where you identify some of these loopholes, and also you make sure that you fix them so that they cannot bring threat to the system.
True.
Yeah, remember, when we're talking about the people, the policies, we must also talk about the physical security.
Yes.
How does the physical security help in the cyber security?
Okay.
Remember, when someone is accessing your institution from the gate until to your office, there's some of the security layers this person has to pass through.
True.
it is very, very important that it can also help in accountability.
Okay.
Another one also is now about the remote sharing of information. How do you make sure that when now your users or your employees are sharing the information, maybe from your network to a different network, or from inside network to an outside, what are some of the things they have to make sure that they have to comply? For example, if you want to share your information or your data, you can do an encryption. So that you make sure that the information which is going to the sender, to the receiver, has not been interfered or contaminated. So because if you encrypt an information or a file, you just assign a key. If you sign a key, it means that the person who can decrypt that information is the person who is at the endpoint. Yes.
Most understood.
Yeah.
So essentially, all these particular strategies are geared towards understanding, first giving you an understanding of what really is this particular cyber security threat, how to anticipate it, and also what are some of the ways you as an individual or even as a company can be able to mitigate some of these challenges.
Yes.
So again, we find that despite having this information, there's always that aspect of you're still exposed.
Yes.
Why is it that even after receiving this training, after knowing some of these cybersecurity threats, you're still open to exposure? How come?
We are always saying in our line of profession that no one is secure. What we are just doing is we're doing the prevention.
Okay.
Because even us, we can be attacked.
True.
So what the institutions or the organizations should do, they should just try to keep up to date. They keep on doing the assessment of their systems. They keep on doing the audits of their systems. And also they keep on updating their policies, because when the technology is changing, it means even in terms of the company or the growth of the institution, there's some of the things which has to change. True. If, for example, your institution were having 5 servers, and maybe because of the growth you expand, what are some of the things you have to make sure that you need to at least upgrade in everything to make sure that you covered all the systems within the network.
True.
So we are saying, yes, there's nothing like we are secured, but we're just trying to prevent. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So ideally, the most essential aspect we need to consider here is prevention is better than cure.
Thank you.
As you're trying to cure some of these challenges, first of all, take that step of preventing them from occurring in the first place.
Yes.
So we understand that cybersecurity essentially is trying to protect the integrity of you as an individual and as a business.
Yeah.
Essentially, this has to do with your data.
Yes.
So as an individual, some of your data you wouldn't want to be out there in the public. As a company, you wouldn't maybe want some of your strategies, some of even your trade secrets to be out there by virtue of being susceptible to a cybersecurity attack.
Yeah.
So in line with that, there is this concept of data loss prevention.
Sure.
What is it and how does it go about?
Okay, before maybe I say something about the data loss prevention.
Sure.
In a network environment, we have many things which are happening. For example, if you want to even secure your data first, there are some of the tools which you have to embrace in your environment.
Okay.
One of them, for example, is IPS. IPS is intrusion prevention.
Okay.
And also, when we're talking about now the identity management access, these are some of the tools which can help you to create an alert and also to detect some of the illegal activities within the network. Now, when we're talking about now the data loss, it's just a cybersecurity tool which helps now the users not to share sensitive information outside the network. Because why? It is help to identify. It help also to it also have to prioritize some of the data which maybe can be used, because in terms of the data, we have the categories of data.
Sure.
We have the data in use, we have the data in transit, we have the data at rest.
Okay.
So it also helps to prioritize, so that when you are sharing a data, for example, if maybe your employee under your department was sharing an information to a different department or cadre, the information he or she is sharing, is that information relevant to the receiver?
Okay.
So the data loss prevention tool, it used to prioritize, and also it help the users not to share sensitive information, because if sensitive information goes outside the network, then there are repercussions.
True.
Yeah, and these repercussions can also create ransomware, where now someone can get hold of your data and ask for
some bit of money here and there.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I believe we've captured each and every aspect to do with unlocking cybersecurity solutions. It's been a very fruitful discussion with our guest speaker. We've given you an understanding of what really is cybersecurity, what are some of the strategies you must involve to mitigate some of these risks, and also essentially how to ensure your business is protected and you as an individual. Maybe lastly, Mike,
Yes.
It could be that you yourself as an individual is also sabotaging yourself in terms of even the company. Internally, there could be sabotage, whether willingly or not willingly, but somebody just does his work,
Yes.
but they've exposed you to risk.
Yeah.
What are some of these issues to do with insider threats?
First of all, what I can say, insider threat, it does not mean that you are aware, because people are always confusing this, but just to explain, remember, you can be used as a tool to reach the target.
True.
Or you can be used as a target. Let's assume you want to reach your CEO or your manager or your MD. We know very well that where you sit, there are some of the core functions which you have to send an email to the executive.
Yeah.
So, and we also know very well that nowadays, in terms of the digital transformation, it is not about the institutions alone, but we even transfer the work from the office to home networks.
True.
How does the what are some of the things which you have to make sure that your home network is also secure?
True.
We have our kids nowadays. They are using the network, they're using our phones.
Very tech
What
savvy.
about if maybe they're sharing our password with the neighbors? Do you know what your neighbor is doing? You are not aware. Why am I saying that? First of all, you must make sure that even you know some of the devices which are connected within your home network, because at the back of your mind, you are doing also an office work, which also has information, and information is value.
Yeah.
So, inside attack, sometimes there are some which are intentional, but there are some which are not intentional.
Yes.
Where if you lack an awareness, you can be lured through these emails, through phishing, through social engineering, and you may find yourself sharing an information.
Yes.
You know, that one you are very innocent, but you've shared information because of lack of awareness.
True.
Yes, but of course, in terms of the company's policies, you might be accounted for the responsibility which you ought to have done before.
Yeah.
So I'm still going back. Training, readiness, and awareness is very important.
Very important.
Very, very important.
Okay.
Yeah, even as we keep on doing the research, because technology is not static.
Yes.
Yes, it keeps on changing. It keeps on changing, and also the cyber criminals are coming up with new methodologies and new approaches to attack the systems.
Okay.
So as now the expert, we need also to find a way of how you can also prevent and secure them from attacking the networks. Yeah. So inside attack, some are always intentional, some are not. Yeah. But also it might also come through the weak network environment. If your network is weak, it doesn't meet the international standards.
Yes.
Because in a network, we have the international standards to protect the data. For example, if it is a system, we are talking about the ISO standard. When we are talking about, for example, securing the health data, we are talking about the Health Insurance Portability Accountability Act.
Okay.
It is an international standard framework.
Yeah.
When we are talking about the payment, in terms of the financial, No, nowadays we do payment through cards.
Yes.
Now we are talking about the payment. We are talking about the payment industry, payment industry card data security standard, which is called PCI DSSS. That is a standard which also regulates the, 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 the transaction through the cards, card holder, the KTMs, and many others.
Okay.
Yeah, when you're talking about the data, you're talking about the GDPR. Because why, if you want to transfer data from Kenya to another country, it passed the boundary. What are some of the things which you have to have in mind?
Yeah.
Let's say maybe your institutions have to make an agreement or a business deal with another country from outside Kenya.
Yes.
First, you need to understand the laws of your land in terms of the data protection. You need also to understand the global data protection, that is GDPR.
Yes.
At the same time, you have to understand, you have to make the partner help you understand the data protection of their land, so that you have also, before you make an agreement, at least you know the risk.
Yes.
And some of the things which can also help you in this are now, for example, if you want to transfer your data, do the encryption.
True.
If you want also to make sure that your data is safe, have used the right channels, because in social media, there are some of the social media platforms which are not secured.
True.
So, and also, that is where now even inside threats are also coming in.
Yeah.
Maybe our users, some of them are reaching sites which are not secured and they are not aware.
Yeah.
So also you have also to make sure that the sites we are visiting are genuine, they are legit.
Yes.
At the same time, they meet the standards.
Okay.
Where am I talking about the standard? They must have, for example, if it is a domain, it has to meet the standards by having SSL certificate,
Okay.
for example,
Yeah.
for accountability.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I've actually learned a lot today in terms of unlocking these particular solutions to cybersecurity threats. It's been a very fruitful discussion. We say thank you to our guest speaker. Maybe in terms of where they would particularly get hold of you, discussion or consultation, where can our audience find you?
Okay, when I was introducing myself, I said I'm working for Risk House International, where I'm the manager cybersecurity and digital forensics. You can reach us at Risk House, I&M building, Second Ngong Avenue, third floor.
Okay.
You can as well visit our website, www.riskhouse.co.kg.
All right.
Thank you.
We say thank you. Thank you for our speakers. Sorry, thank you for our speaker. Thank you for our audience. It's been a pleasure. See you in the next one. Thank you.
Thank you.